Greetings, Warship fans. Welcome back to Rosgrease Gaming, and today we have something I should have probably got done earlier, but you know what? Better late than never, right? Okay. Ranked season has officially started, the Ranked Season 11. And this season, it's Tier 9, but this time with Arms Race mixed into it. So that we talk about it, what guys can go for, what you guys are going to see, etc, etc. So the maps this season are going to be Islands of Ice, Trident, Warrior's Path, Sleeping Giant, and Mountain Range. But this year, you're getting some very juicy stuff. If you guys are trying to get those premiums, this might be the chance for you to get yourself some actual steel. Yes, you heard me right, you're going to get some steel this season. Yes, I know there's doubloons too. If you get rank 1, you get, of course, the 2,500 doubloons, the 5 hydras, a copper, 50 of the Type 3 rank camels, and 1,000 steel, which is quite nice. That's not including the rest of the season, which is duration of 27 days. This will last until February 26th. And, of course, there is, this time, the all-inclusive arms race. All cap positions will be shown, which will be buffs for your team. First with 1,000, of course, wins. The buffs will be reducing detectability, healing your ship, decreasing reload for your team, improving your ship's acceleration and rudder shift times, reducing the rudder shift times, and accelerating the speed of all consumables. You can do quite a bit of buffs for your team that actually going to be quite impressive. All positions will be shown as key areas. Capture time of 150 seconds. Area grants you 10 points per second for holding it. Is the final one. And by capturing, you take a huge point advantage of that middle cap. So, get your points there, boys. Anyway, here's the kicker for me. Well, Raz, what kind of steel are you going to get for this season? Well, for those who are actually really interested, getting rank 17, 16, and rank 14, and rank 13, all it's at rank 12, minus rank 15, you all can get your hands on 2,250 steel. You heard me right. Not once, not twice, not 3, not 4, not 5 times you get 250 steel. That's 1,250 if you do the math. That's including at rank 11, you get another 350. Then adding on rank 9, 8, and 7, you get another 300 steel. At rank 6, you get another 500 steel. At rank 4, 3, and 2, you get another 500. And finally, at rank 1, you get 1,000. So, you get a very, very high amount of steel you can get your hands on. Way over at least 2,000. You might be on the shy of 3,000 if you do the math correctly in your heads, but kids. Just kidding. I just like to joke around and be a little, my nutty self. Anyway, enough of that. So, the tier is 9. Well, I gotta figure out what ships I'm gonna use this season. Well, I might have a few suggestions for you, folks. Think about this thing. We're doing arms race. We need fast-moving ships with very low detectability to get to many capture points as possible to give as many buffs as we can for the team. That entitling will allow us to have a great advantage on the opponent with the more buffs we have. There you go. So now you're already thinking about low detectability cruisers and destroyers right off the bat. Now that doesn't mean you're going to bring a big bang stick like a battleship, but definitely the meta is going to be a high damage, low concealment destroyer. Doesn't mean that some of the unique ones aren't going to be terrible. So for example, Tier 9 Kitakaze, look out for her. She is going to be a threat this season of the ranked because she has very good guns that can be buffed to penetrate anything up to 32 millimeters, cause fires, and have, if you build it with the Adrenaline Rush build, it basically just keep docking as fast as it can, doing a lot of damage to the destroyers and getting those cap positions. Now bear with it, it is a little slower than most destroyers for her maneuverability, but then if she gets a couple of the buffs by taking a few out, But you're screwed. And that's not including if you get yourself the other ships that might see this season. I think the other one's going to be definitely is the Fletcher or the Black. Fletcher because, well, it's a Fletcher. A solid destroyer with 5-inch guns, great concealment, very good torpedoes. And on top of that, the Black because, well, the Black has included in reducing that speed boost, but does have that radar. And that consumable is going to be deadly this season for detectability ships and causing major damage to the rest of the destroyer fleet. Now, I don't own them all, but you know what might be another decent one, even though I haven't played it? I've been hearing a lot of very interesting things about the Jutland. From what I'm hearing from her, she actually might be a good contender for this rank season. I mean, I haven't played it myself, but from what I'm hearing, this Jutland Tier 9 will be probably quite the problematic destroyer that's going to be this season. And that's not including all the torpedoes and the decent guns she has in the front. She has those 113s in the front and then another single 113 in the back. If you do it right, you could just do a load of gun hell on an enemy. Now, that's not including other ships that I actually think are going to be good. I think actually another good one too is the Z-46. Again, good concealment, good torpedoes, and hydroacoustic ability. Now, it's not as good as the radar, but if you don't have radar, hydroacoustic is the second best thing actually to get out there. And it could be a major threat to other enemy teammates, for sure. Now, what else can we think about? Well, what other destroyers are out there? Oh, the Pan-Asian line. I don't know about that. I mean, the Chungmu does have radar, and it can be quite a problematic thing for the clan, for that kind of season, but I don't think it's going to be a major thing that's actually going to change the tide for the fight. Especially if you get a Kitakaze out there. It's going to destroy it to pieces. For the Russians, the trash can Udaloy, I really can't justify. High concealment and get spotted from orbit, and then every ship can spot it and just nuke it. Not worth your time. I don't think they're going to be good. If it was tier 10, it would have been a different story. I would have said Grozvoy, hands down. But this season, it's 9. So you can't go there. I'm sorry. Not going to fly with me. Yugumo, again, very good concealment. Actually, exceptionally good. Pretty decent guns. If it battles the Kitakaze, it's screwed. But it's got pretty good torpedoes, so that could actually make it a one-time up on it. Now let's talk about the cruisers. Well, we got a Buki. We got Seattle and Buffalo. Frun. Dmitry Donskoy. Neptune. St. Louis. And that's it. Well, what do you think is going to be decent this season? Well, I think Dmitry is going to be a good one. And that's not including the other ships too. Buffalo could be pretty good. Rune could be pretty good at handling its long-range counterparts of doing some that kind of positioning for max range. But you're going to need a ship that can actually do a lot of damage to medium to close range. So I might see the Buffalo might be a little stronger too. She is a pretty good ship overall. Decent guns, great concealment, very good anti-air ability. Overall, a solid ship to pick. Seattle might be a tough go-getter though this season if anybody picks it. Yes, she's got a lot of consumables like radar and stuff, but because of her lightly armored and she can't really defend herself against a lot of other like high caliber guns, I don't think she's going to be a major threat, a major challenge for enemies. What I do fear is the Kronstadt, a battleship cruiser. Yeah, that's a serious threat at tier 9. With radar, good guns, very exceptionally good armor for herself. You can't go wrong with it. And the consumables just pack a punch. I can repeat that over and over again, that the consumables pack a punch. And if you buff this thing with all the buffs that all the other destroyers you're supporting with, oh, good lord. Good gravy, good riddance, the rest of the enemy team. They're in serious trouble. Yeah. The rest of the cruiser lines, maybe Neptune or something like that, but I really don't think cruisers are going to be... They're going to be a meta. Believe me, like Kronstadt's going to be a serious meta. But I think Kronstadt, the Russians are going to take it because they can just spot every destroyer in orbit if they're anywhere near any of those spots being capped. Hit them, take them out before they take the point. If you can actually work as a team and take them out. Like I said before, whoever has the most capture positions for buffs is going to mean the difference between either the team actually doing some major damage in the long run or suffering at the later end. Bear with it, guys. You might be stopping them capping. You got to kill them too. Remember, one ship down is a major difference for the rest of the team. Now let's go for battleships. Well, we got Izumo, Sashi, Iowa, Missouri, Frederick the Gross, Alsace, Jean Bart, and Lion. I don't think Lion's going to be 100% powerful, with her having problems against torpedo defense, and her guns being just a high explosive scumbag. Not much of a thing. The Alsace and Jean Bart, on the other hand, that could be a serious threat in this season. Now, I wouldn't 100% say Jean Bart's going to be great, but if you use it right and use that reload booster that she has, this thing can be quite the nasty of a battleship. A few wrong hits on enemy cruisers or a battleship showing the wrong side could mean the difference between your team winning or losing. Alsace, too, is not that bad. Yes, it doesn't have as good as accuracy as it once had, but if it's buffed right with secondaries and everything else, it can be quite the nasty counterpart against a lot of the enemy destroyers and enemy ships out there in general. Missouri, what else can I say? Tier 9, battleship with radar. What else to say, man? This thing is going to be cancer to enemy teams. And again, I won't repeat, I hate repeating myself, but again, Musashi, what else do I have to say? A tier 10 to tier 9? Bear with it, she can't handle herself against anti-air, but you don't have to worry about anti-air. It's tier 9 this season, and because of the carrier changes, there's no carriers going to be involved in this. And that's not, last but not least, we have to talk about Izumo. I wouldn't be talking about this ship if it wasn't for the changes that they just released on her. They changed this thing from a 1.8 Sigma to a 2.0 Sigma, which means these guns are pretty accurate, very accurate to that saying. Now yes, the gun caliber is only 410 millimeters, but that's 410 millimeters of Japanese guns. If a cruiser or another enemy ship is showing the wrong side, these guns will punish. And if you build it with some pretty good and secondary defenses and have it quite built correctly with its commander, this thing could be quite the nasty tier 9. So I think pretty much that's all to say about this season. Like I said before, I think this season's going to be involving a lot of high amounts of concealments, taking positions as quick as possible to get as many of the buffs as they can. That's what I'd be doing. I'll be getting as many of the reloads or speed boosts or any reloads or healing boosts to keep the team alive. The longer we can keep swinging and taking out targets, the quicker and the more devastating we can be too. If I can last longer in a fight compared to my enemy, that's more the merrier. So, I think that's it pretty much for this video. If you guys have your own picks, let me know down in the comments down below. As always, take care of yourselves and I'll see you all on the next video. Take care.